Hey friends, welcome back for another garden tour. We haven't done one of these in a while because that mid-summer garden burnout happened. Where we live, we get like 2 gardening seasons. So we can plant basically from the beginning of March, more or less, to the beginning of December. So we get all but maybe 2 or 3 months worth of growing for us. So we still have like 140 something days we can plant till our first projected freeze. So I can grow a whole new season, kind of like most people do for the year. A lot of people get 140 days-ish to grow. That's just where we are. So let me show you where I'm at. Let me talk through what I'm gonna do, and I will show you what I plan on doing in the next week of things, and I'll update you. Let's go. Let's talk about my tomato bed. These tomatoes are pretty much done because of the weather we have been having, and everything in front is still doing great. It's just everything behind the flowers that are now not looking so good. So it's just weather has taken its toll. They've gotten too big. We've had storms. They've fallen over. Sunflowers are starting to die in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start hacking down my tomatoes. Now I'm not going to do all of them, and I'm not going to do every one, and I might keep some as suckers to start growing again. So you can see everything is kind of clear down below, but down here we have like a whole new plant starting off the bottom. So I'm basically gonna cut it down to that spot and let it regrow. And I'm gonna do that quite a few. But then you see this tomato right back here, this cherry, it is still beautiful and green and healthy. So that guy will get to stay. But if I come down here, I have some tall cosmos. I mean, look at these zinnias filling in. Look at these ones, I love these. But I have like these cosmos that are so tall, they still haven't bloomed. And a tall sunflower, but look at that, San Marzano growing all the way to my eaves. There are tomatoes right up there I cannot reach. But I have some that need to come down in here. It's time for some of these tomatoes. They're just done. And I need to get out here and harvest more basil. As I look at this, we've already preserved enough for like the year of seasoning. So I think we're gonna make some pesto. I'm looking, I have more over there, but like, look how big some of these zinnias are growing. When I drive my lawnmower through, you're kind of now whacked with flowers, but it's so beautiful. So I'm gonna pull things out, and then later today, I'm gonna start sitting down with my seeds, and I'm gonna start planning what is gonna go in here next. Kind of like, what do I want to plant next? Now, as I walk over here, chicken water bucket fell over. I have a tomato here. Hi, baby. But look, this is what squash does for me here. Squash does not grow. It is like one of the most frustrating things. I have a cherry tomato that is ever so gently holding on. But you can see back here, a lot of things I've pulled are done, and I have empty spaces. Ground cherries. I have in here lots of zinnias popping up. I think this guy's put off plenty of seeds. Yes, we'll get some ground cherries. But where we're at now is things are just starting to get blight. So here are my tomatillos. I have picked probably a couple gallon bags worth of them. I just pick them and I stick them in my freezer and just dealing with them then. They are still producing. They still have tons of flowers on them, so I'm letting them go. They are a jungle mess, but I'm letting them go. I do down here have a sweet potato that is vining all over and doing its thing. My okra that was late to get planted is finally taking off, and it's about to start its first pods. So the okra is related to hibiscus. It's in the family. So the flowers on okra are gorgeous. I love them. They are beautiful. I know that one didn't grow. We're gonna plant it again. But you have to pick okra pretty fast. And so we love okra, and where we live down here in South Mississippi, okra is okra is a staple crop. I have I have 1, 2, 3 here, and then one my kids planted that's under the tomatillos now. But this is plenty of okra for our family for fresh eating. In here I have beans that have just gone nuts this time, and I'm noticing, oh, we're gonna pick ground cherries. Give me a second. The beans are starting to produce. And some broccoli. We don't have broccoli. This corn did get some ears. I don't know if they're gonna grow, but you know, it's fun. And in here I have noticed we do have some squash growing. There's even one growing up here. So I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. I do want to plant like pumpkins somewhere. My goal every year is to grow pumpkins. Every single year. Does it happen? No. So up here, this is now becoming a mess. A jumbled mess. So this is my cucamelon down here. It is finally growing, but one storm, it was growing up like this way. It fell that way. So now it's growing this way. But I have Trombencino Squash here and right there, and it's growing up and deciding to go this way. So they're growing together. But if I come over here, my loofahs, I've only planted 2. They are going up and they are going this way, and they are going this way. I have loofah all the way to my corn. That over there is loofah. Yes, babe. But down here in this bed, I have tomatoes that are doing pretty good. I have some melons growing down here. Oh, this melon even looks like it wants to join the trellis game. I have some peppers back here in between that are growing. Watermelon growing here. Like, look at this. More loofah. More loofah growing here. Peppers, celery, melons. Everything is kind of growing in this bed. So this bed isn't doing too bad. I'm very impressed. The celery is holding on. It's gone through some hot days, and I'm hoping maybe by fall I can get it after some storms. So it's starting to look like celery. It's just kind of smaller. I did start all of this by seed in the early spring. So I'm just kind of letting, oh, look, even more loofah growing this way. I'm telling you, this loofah is now down here on the ground as well. But down here, sweet potatoes in between my blackberries. They are going nuts. Now, one of the problems I'm having in this blackberry bed, I'll have to deal with more once the sweet potatoes are fully cleared, is we get wild blackberries here that are thorned, and they get up in your ankles and it's pain. The blackberries I planted here are all thornless, and I planted thornless for a reason. So I pulled out a ton of thorned blackberries. Now here's one of my green stalks. We just pulled out a ton of the cucumbers. The cucumbers are just bitter. They don't taste good because of the heat. They are not looking healthy anyways. So I just gave this a big old haircut. I'm thinking I'm going to take my strawberries that are looking very sad. Yeah, I gave it a haircut. Like I gave you a haircut. I think I'm going to stick strawberries in this. Because I'll show you my strawberries. They aren't looking too good. My peppers, they've gotten a little heat damage. Oh my goodness, cars. But they are starting another round of producing. So I don't think they're doing too bad. Remember, we have plenty of time for peppers to grow. So we will get some. But I have a few herbs up here that are looking to be dead. Okay, go and open the gate. So these are going to come out, and I might plant some flowers or something here. But here are my strawberries. I've had some of these strawberries for a couple years now, and some just did not survive this year. Some of these strawberries have grown so good in our heat, and some just did not make it. And I don't know if this dirt is just kind of on its last leg, but I've been wanting to get my strawberries out of these and into a green stalk anyways. So I think since I have holes here, I'm just going to transplant the majority of these into these holes, clear up this kind of space, and I can kind of move a green stalk here in its spot and go from there. Now I did plant 2 tomatoes in these and in there, and they are doing good. I need to get a stake for this guy. They are getting wieldy, and don't look at this mess. This is what happens when my kids freely garden with me. Here I have 2 tomatoes and 3 peppers, and this is a lot in kind of a 2 by 1 by 2 space. But things grow so well right here. I'm always so amazed. Now my jalapenos that were in this pot did completely take a poop, and they are done, but these tomatoes are doing great. These peppers are doing great, so I'm very ecstatic about that. Here's my bed by the front door. We have been picking some of the sunflowers that have been growing. Most of this in here was, again, volunteers, so it's been fun. We only planted a few things. One of them I did plant is this Cosmo. So this is my Cosmo that still has not bloomed. I planted this originally the beginning of January from seed. It is huge. So one seed, look at the stalk of this. One seed still has not bloomed. I've had so many of my Cosmos this year just not bloom. I don't know what it is. I am treating this whole bed identically. Just that one's not blooming. Now over here I've had some losses, and partly because I think sometimes when nurseries say full sun does not mean our full sun. Our full sun is a harsh full sun. So my Dahlia here is taking a poop. I had, I think, a ranunculus or something here. It just completely died. I did sprinkle its seeds everywhere, so I'm hoping I will get some back and maybe they'll be okay. That is my Shasta daisy. It is holding on, so I have hopes. And my geranium is slowly holding on. And then I do have my 2 echinaceas. I was going to plant them over there in that bed, but I am going to stick them in here and see how they do. My chive and my lemon balm, I think, are going to get transplanted. I don't know if they're going to stay in this. My mom needs to be transplanted. Our blueberries are done for the year. We're picking the last little bits. My lime tree is pushing out clusters again. Okay, Daddy's lime tree. Yeah, Daddy's lime tree. My alyssum down below has gone crazy and wild. I don't know how much longer it's going to hold on, but I've been told it can reseed, so I'm hoping it does. My mint needs some love, some TLC. I'm going to come cut some back, weed, and figure out what I can do to kind of give this some more life. I might honestly throw the lemon balm in here as well and just see how it does. Here is my feverfew. All the blooms have fallen off. I am going to see if I can come out here and save some of these, continue to dry them out, and get some seed for feverfew. It does look a little funky up top. It's got a little bit of blight, but everything down low is looking good. So I'm not worried about the stuff up top. It's going to get chopped here in a few minutes anyways. I see, babe. That's, yeah. My oregano here. This has been my awesome oregano. This center part right here is like the good part. I need to come cut all this extra off. Oregano grows crazy for us. I haven't, because we get these zipper spiders. They look absolutely disgusting, but they eat bad bugs. So he's there. So that means I will not touch this. That is no go. He will grow to be like huge. They are nasty. That, look, there's a spider right there. My rosemary is growing sideways this year, which is strange because last year it was definitely growing the other way. But it's growing. And then I have things in here growing great. This flag is hiding behind my pineapple sage. Over here, things aren't growing as well as I hoped, and I still have not planted anything in here. I just haven't felt the need to. Like I said, I've had a little bit of gardening burnout, but when I find seeds like this that are old zinnias, I'm just sprinkling them back where they were, like so. And then, hold on, baby. You know, life cycle will restart again, and it's good. And in my burnout, I did not get out here and harvest my dill. but now all of these are here for seeds. Oh, I have a little dill left. So what I think I'm going to do is start dill over. Dill grows so easy, and I've never had dill last this long. So growing dill in the shade for me is really the game changer. All right, let's talk about my blueberry patch right here. I planted a ton of flowers, tomatillos, and other things in between my blueberries. I have 6 blueberries going along this, as well as peach tree. I planted some sunflowers. I planted, these are cosmos, zinnias. These are green tomatillos. The ones I have in my backyard are purple, and everything is now blooming. I do have some blueberries badly need to be picked. They are on their last leg, but just beautiful flowers blooming here finally. This was a labor of love to do this. It was so much work, but it makes our yard look so much better. I do need to get in here and edge and weed eat, but that's like never ending for us. So I did plant okra on either side of my peach tree. There are some sunflowers, cosmos, even a couple cherry tomatoes up here. And everything is slowly filling in. I think I had an issue with some of the soil I brought in. So some things have grown way better than others, and it's totally okay. Things are growing. I'm not mad. And I do have a bunch of blueberries here that need to come get picked. This bush is always my last one that needs to be picked clean. Now up here is my last bed. If I get under this tree, bee balm is completely done. I was very excited. It did bloom this year. The blooms were beautiful and amazing. This thyme has stayed in bloom almost all spring. Here is my lettuce. This lettuce is going to get picked like this. I'll just chop it off, put it in a bag, let it finish drying out, and I'll save the seeds from this to start new lettuce. I do have some Echinacea that's growing and a few other things that have struggled in this section. So I'll just decide what I want to do on this end for the upcoming years. So plenty is still growing here. Plenty is done. But it's been kind of exciting to see how much I could do by myself this year. This year has been different for me gardening just because we're a military family and sometimes we're not all together, and we're not right now. So I have done all this start to where we are now by myself, and it's just kind of it's a good accomplishment. I get very discouraged, when things start looking like my tomatoes are now. That, they're done. But it's like I see everybody else who are just starting to harvest their tomatoes, and it's just kind of, like, why can't my tomatoes be like that? Well, my tomatoes were like that like over a month ago. So I just have to remember that. And I do have other tomatoes growing, so not much longer I will start getting a harvest from those. And I'm excited this afternoon to go see what seeds I want to start. So the next video you'll see after this, we're going to talk about what am I going to start for my next garden and how I'm going to plan out what I'm going to grow, kind of like my late summer, fall, and my winter garden. So talk about that next. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Have a good one, friends.